Hello, Pastor Gary here with Victory Worship Center, the Gospel in 5, our 5-minute and under devotion that might encourage you throughout your week. And we want to we pick up our reading in the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 2. And this is the story about Moses' encounter with the burning bush. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of the bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And so, just a little history. Moses had fled Egypt. He was on the backside of the wilderness. He had met Jethro, the priest of Midian. By this time, I believe he had already married his daughter and perhaps had some children. He had 2 boys. And during his time there, and God is about to call him to go into Egypt and lead the children of Israel out into the promised land. And this is God's way of getting his attention. And Moses was simply attending his flock. And he looks over on the hillside. And it was actually the Mount of God, Mount Horeb, I believe. And he looked over on that hilltop, and he sees a bush burning. And the Bible says it was not consumed, and that drew attention to him. My understanding that the climate was so hot in those areas that it would not have been any big deal to see a fire. Everyone used campfires to cook their meals and to warm themselves. But something was different about this one, is that although it burned, it wasn't consumed. And so I actually think he took quite a bit of time noticing that it was not consumed. And whenever he finally decided to see what it was, our Bible tells us that as he turned aside to see this great sight while the bush is not consumed, then God spoke unto him. Tells him to take his shoes off, his feet are on holy ground, and then he starts forward to calling him into ministry and to be a leader of God's people. And I believe that in our lives that there's many burning bushes, and from all different types. Perhaps it's not a physical sight like this, but it's just every time we go to read our Bible, maybe there's something kind of gnawing at our heart, and something kind of catches our attention. Sometimes I know when God's dealing with you, every Christian song you hear will be the same thing. Every time you open up your Bible, you'll fall to the same, not necessarily the same scripture, but it'll be saying the same thing, just God trying to speak unto our heart. And so I want to encourage you to, I believe God still uses burning bushes. By that I mean he still tries to do something to get our attention, whatever that might be. Sometimes it's just a song at an appropriate time, or a word that was fitly spoken, rather. And so I want to encourage you to be looking out on that hillside. Perhaps God is trying to call you into a ministry. I know we certainly need ministers in churches today. Need a lot of help, and need a lot of people just roll up their sleeves and just go to work and pray and seek God and win souls. And so I want to encourage you in that today, that if God is drawing your heart, and there is a symbolic burning bush in your life, he won't speak unto you until you turn aside to see what's going on. And when you do that, he'll speak unto you and give you instructions. This is Pastor Gary, VWC's The Gospel in 5. God bless you.